Elizabeth Warren is still in this race, although things are not looking great for her. Like she's not even leading in her home state, let alone in any others that I've seen polling for. But she is in it, and she responded to the sort of coalescing around Joe Biden with a statement saying, I want to congratulate Joe Biden on his win in South Carolina. I respect his years of service, but no matter how many Washington insiders tell you to support him, nominating their fellow Washington insider will not meet this moment. She says, nominating a man who says we do not need any fundamental change in this country will not meet this moment. Nominating someone who wants to restore the world before Donald Trump when the status quo has been leaving more and more people behind for decades is a big risk for our party and our country. So look, everyone I think is trying to either get in the mind of or explain the actions of Elizabeth Warren. What do you make of what she's been doing, what her path seems to be?
I think that comment is spot on. Sure, this is definitely Washington insiders rallying around Biden, but I mean, it's to stop Sanders. Like that's why they're doing that. But it begs the question, then if that is the case and that's how she sees the world, why, after Sanders waiting for her to decide whether she was going to run in 2016, why did she then back Clinton? I don't understand. Like if this is her worldview that we need to challenge the status quo, why did she back Hillary Clinton? Because she represented a continuation of the Obama policies. Mm-hmm. So very confused by this, and she seems to be continued shape-shifting from her based on who her audience is. Her path to victory, I mean, doesn't really seem to be there. You could make the case that it involves a brokered convention, but again, the superdelegates are much more likely, if it's a brokered convention, to go to Biden than her. I mean, I truly do not understand why she is still in this, and along the way, she's flipped up on super PACs. She's attacked Sunrise and Our Revolution, two amazing grassroots organizations, to kind of distinguish herself from Sanders. She's leaving a lot of burned bridges behind her, and I wish that the progressive movement would just unify and take on Biden, because this is clearly the biggest challenge we have right now. And trying to fracture the left is really alarming.
And look, I know there are some people that, like I tweeted a couple times yesterday about the fact that it's clearly time for her to drop out and endorse someone, honestly. I mean, we can't necessarily say at this point who it would be, but to endorse someone. And I know people get angry about that, but I would respond to them like, is there a path for her electorally to get the most delegates? There does not appear to be, unless something radical happens, and that's probably not gonna happen. There's no path there. And do you think that they would give her the nomination at a contested convention? And I can't imagine why they would do that. You said it's unlikely. I think it's like 90-10 Biden to Warren. Honestly, I think that Bloomberg might be more likely than Warren at this point. He's probably gonna have more delegates, and they're closer to him ideologically than they are to Warren. So, like, other than that, what then is the point of her staying in, especially if it increases the odds that someone who is farther away from her in terms of the policy could end up being the nominee?
Right. I mean, I've thought about this a lot over the past week, and I don't understand. I can't come to an even objective conclusion for why, other than that's who people want. Like that's ultimately the argument, is that they don't like Sanders, they like her, and that's why they think she should stay in. That's really it. And comparisons to 2016, which a lot of people are making about when Sanders dropped out, are completely disingenuous, because there's a whole new dynamic here. Like you have a critical day today where most of the delegates are going to be allotted, and you're now going to fracture the progressive left. I don't see the benefit here.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.